What's up guys, Crane here from LogicLounge.com and welcome back to Logic Lounge Gaming. I know I haven't done a video in a very long time. I think it's been over a month, but I'm back and I wanted to do one of my favoriteest routes of all time to fly. It is called Speedbird 1. It is operated by British Airways in one of only, I think, two A318s that British Airways operates. This is the smallest Airbus that you could find. It's also configured in such a way that I think there's only like 35 seats available on the plane. It's like an all business class. It goes out of London City. It's supposed to be like this premier flight experience if you don't know what it is. So it's a quite interesting flight just because it's such a small aircraft going across the Atlantic Ocean. So today we're going to do this. We have a stopover in Shannon, Ireland to refuel, and then we will be on our way to JFK. I think I'm going to do this video in at least 2, maybe 3 parts. So right now we're getting fueled up right now here at London City. You can see actually London City here in the background. I think London Heathrow is like right over in this direction over here somewhere. So we're in this tiny little dinky A318, which for this airport is actually one of the biggest planes that flies out of it. So let's go ahead and jump into the cockpit here. We're going to get all set up. I think I'm going to activate my co-pilot today. So we'll do our checklist and co-pilot, and we'll start them.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
And I will start over here on our FMC.
Both off.
Engine mode selector.
Oh, you know what? I didn't do fuel, so let's do fuel first. I haven't flown in more than a month, so this is going to be very interesting for me. So let me go get our fuel here. Hopefully this is in kilograms. Yes, it is.
Checked and armed.
No smoking signs.
On.
Taking 13 passengers.
Check.
Ventilation panel.
Is checked.
Fuel pumps.
2 tons of cargo.
Set
Only
on.
4.5 tons of fuel.
Checked.
Is what we're taking today, just because it's just a short flight of only maximum of 2 hours. Our in-air time is going to be actually less than an hour. This is the furthest west point that you can get without going across the Atlantic Ocean. So that's where we refuel, we get some more passengers, and then we go across the Atlantic Ocean on this flight. So I'm going to go ahead and load our fuel and cargo like so. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, let's gotta do this again. So 13, I think 2 tons of cargo and 4.5 tons of fuel, like so. Instant load. Boom. All right, coming over here. So we are going today from EGLC to EINN, is Shannon, Ireland. I don't want to do that route. Flight number is BAW1. Number 1. Cost index today will be 36. I don't really know what this cost number is supposed to be. And flight level 380. I don't think we're actually going to get up that high today. So we'll see what happens there. And our block fuel is 2.1. Like so. Preferences, we'll leave that for right now. We'll leave this for right now. Let's go to our flight plan here. From EGLC, we will take runway. I think the wind is still variable. Let me double check. WX, EGLC. I think the wind is still variable. Yes, it's variable at 2 knots. So we're going to take the most convenient runway for us, which is going to be 09. And that will be the Compton 1 hotel departure. Oops. Let's see. Compton 1 hotel departure. Like so. And it picks up at Compton. And from Compton, we will go UL9. From UL9, we'll go to Gavgo. 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 Then from Gavgo, UL18. I think we're just going to do it direct once we're up in the air, but I'm going to do this anyways to DICAS. DIKAS, and I know that sounded weird, but that's how I say it. To UL9. To Slaney. SLANY. To Slaney, and then to Abagu. Abagu. But I gotta do that first. And then come all the way down here to ABA. GU. Abgu. And then from Abgu, we will take Lima 9 airway to Tipur. 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 All right. Then from there, we have an arrival. Our arrival is going to be the Tipur, or the Tipu 2 Delta arrival. And I think we want ILS for runway 24. I think that's what I want. I want ILS 24 for Tipu. Oops. I wanted 2 Delta. Yes. Okay, cool. All right. So we're going to come up here and we're going to check our flight plan. There we go. That's what I want. Okay. All right. Going across the flight plan. Okay. Cool. So it's all how we want it to be. Very good. All right. So let's see. What do I need to do? I need to do flaps 1 for departure. Look how quick these speeds are. Only 92 knots for V1, rotating 120 knots. We're so light today, as well as being just no fuel. We're such a small plane, which is very nice. So I think that's all. Next phase. We'll set up all of this stuff in the next phases. I don't know if I really want to go to 380, but we'll see. We'll see how far up we get before I kind of call it quits, because we still need to descend, by the way. So I think we're good there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to load back into here, and we're going to close front left and close back right here. And with all that stuff, we'll wait for them. And then I think we need to close the cargo doors. And while that's closing, I will set up some other things. Waiting for all these guys. Come on, cargo door. Let's go. Let's go. Do this one. Okay. Doing some things off screen here to get my flight plan all ready to go. And I'm almost done. I'm waiting for those. It's going to do its checklists for us while we wait. And then all right. Make sure our parking brake is set. Very good. Parking brake is set. I think our checklist person is doing the before start checklists, which I think our APU is coming on right now. So APU is doing that. Getting ourselves ready to go. Basically, we're just going to go straight on here, and then takeoff. It's going to be
Set on,
very
power.
quick.
disconnected and off.
Cabin signs,
Set on,
thrust levers,
idle,
parking brake,
on.
bearer reference,
Set 1017,
1017. Check. Beacon lights.
Set on.
Checklist complete.
All right. So I think we're good to go here. So I think what we do now is, because if we look outside here, we are turned in such a way that we're away from the gate. We actually will just start our engines at the gate. There's no like tug, taxing, or anything like that. It's just starting at the gate. So we're going to do that right now. We're going to start engine number 2. And I say this is one of my favorite flights because this aircraft is so small and because it flies such a long distance. It's so cool. I really do enjoy this just because of how far this flight goes in such a small plane. I think it's one of the coolest things ever. All right, so we got engine 1 coming alive.
Engine 2 is stabilized.
Starting
And then
number 1.
starting engine number 1. I think I need to go like, there we go. Like that to make sure everything is good. We're just waiting for the plane to start up engine number 1. We can see engine number 1 from here. I don't think we can actually see engine number 1. Nope.
Engine 1 is stabilized.
Awesome. Now we wait. Like I said, we're just going to taxi straight ahead of us.
Start checklist.
And we're going to get on to the runway.
Engine mode selector.
Set.
APU bleed.
Set off.
APU master.
And we take such a sharp turn after departure because we need to avoid the city. We need to have noise abatement procedures. So it's a pretty sharp turn right after we take off here. Now, I don't think, did I do this? Uh-oh. I might have screwed up. Just a second here. Settings. Can't see anything but controls. My yoke. I want to make sure that my axis for my engine throttle. Engine throttle. Where's engine throttle? Engine throttle. Throttle axis. All right.
Pitch trim.
There we go. And I think we need to skip the pitch trim.
Flight controls.
And flight controls, so full left, full right, center,
Neutral.
full up, full down,
Neutral.
center,
Rudder.
and rudder is full left,
Full right.
rudder is full right,
Neutral.
neutral,
Flaps.
and flaps.
Flaps 1.
Is flaps 1 today?
Off.
Ecam status.
Checked.
Ecam door page.
Received.
Checklist complete.
All right, so I think we're ready to taxi. Yes, we are. Here we go.
Taxiing checklist.
And we're already holding short.
Set on.
Brake
Pedal
check.
pressed.
So let's wait for the announcement to
Check
finish.
0.
Check. Auto brakes.
Max.
Takeoff data.
Reviewed.
FCU.
Checked.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. TO config.
Set.
Checklist complete.
Flight attendants, seats for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
Brake fans.
Off.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
TCAS.
TARA, tilt above.
Exterior lights.
Set on.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Checklist complete.
All right, we're ready for takeoff. I think this is like one of the quickest taxi to takeoffs that you'll ever do, just because you're so close here. And I might do the return trip as well to London City, because the approach here to London City is also very interesting, because you come at it at such a steep angle and you really don't have any room for an error. So I'll save that though for our return trip, but for right now we're good to go. So let's toga it.
Takeoff. Man, toga, SRS and runway.
Check.
Center on the runway.
Power set.
Pretty much at max power here. 80 knots.
Rotate.
Rotate. Bringing that nose up.
Positive climb.
Gear up.
And we're up,
Gear up.
and away.
Navigation.
Check.
Climb thrust.
And we'll set climb thrust pretty quickly here. And we'll start our turn.
Gears up. Lights off.
Still flying this guy manually
Flap
here.
0.
Speed check. Flap to 0.
And the after takeoff checklist.
Kind of windy here today.
Selector.
Check normal.
Spoilers.
Disarmed.
Flaps.
Check retracted.
Landing gear.
Gear up. Lights off.
Exterior lights.
Set off.
Tax.
Both on.
Anti-ice.
Off.
You see London there below us.
Altimeter.
1017.
1017. Checked. Checklist complete.
And bring it in around town. Bring it in around town. Look at that. Still hand flying this thing. I love hand flying the little Airbuses. We're going to come back to the right and get back onto our flight plan here. Just trimming it out. I'm not really touching the controls at all.
Arrow reference set and cross check.
Check.
Alright, let's go ahead and set autopilot.
Autopilot on.
Alright, we're still climbing because we're so light. We are just flying up to our cruise altitude right now. There's London there behind us. Say hi to London, or bye to London actually, as we take off. See if I can get a better view out of this window.
Lights off.
Yeah.
Off.
And now it's going to be just a slow climb up to our cruise level before we start our descent. So I'm not going to bore you guys, but I will be back right after this short montage as we come to land into Shannon. We'll do all of our normal approach procedure stuff, but until then, I will see you guys in just a second. And just like that, we're back. Only 51 minutes into this flight. It hasn't been very long since I actually left you guys. We're falling through 19,000 feet right now. We can see the ground below us as we come in. It'll be a nice clear day. Hopefully I'll be able to actually take over and manually land, because that's always nice. We're coming down, like I said, and like we had planned. Whoops, can I go forward? There we go. Forward and down. So like we had planned, we're still coming in on our same runway here, and we'll be nice, low, and slow, hopefully, on this descent. We're still quite a ways out, so we're just kind of managing the descent right now. I only made it up to 32,000 feet, so we didn't go all the way up, but we made it up to 32,000 feet, and we're getting close to the ground now. We've already gotten all of our checks gone through, but there are some things that we can do, like setting up our FMC on our, I think this page, nope, this page, next phase, our QNH for EINN. EINN will be 1024, and our temperature will be, ooh, that's cold, 1 degree Celsius. 1 degree Celsius. That is freezing. All right. But our flight plan here, still on the descent. We'll probably have to descend a little bit faster, or kind of help our descent here, because I feel like we're still way too high. But I mean, the FMC says we're right on schedule, so we are. So there's Ireland here around us. This is Ireland. This is not the UK anymore, even though it looks like the UK. It looks like how we left. Nope, this is Ireland for us. It's definitely different flying this time of season. So when I last left you guys, it was almost still summer, so like everything was green, but now everything's kind of brownish as everything gets colder. It's very interesting to fly. So our wind right now is, let's see, EINN. Our wind is 080 at 3 knots, so we're still on a good runway. I mean, 03, I think we would want the 09 runway, but it's only a 3 knot tailwind, so it's not going to hurt us. It really is not going to hurt us. So we're going to continue still on this approach now as we continue down. It's always interesting. Climbing is always the hardest part, but kind of gliding down is like the shortest part. It's very quick on the way down, so it's a much different when I'm recording these videos. Like I said, we're on the approach. I am planning for ILS for the runway 27, I think it is. So 27, I think, is what 24. ILS 24, we're going to be on. And then I'll probably take over manual and do a manual approach, because I haven't done one of those in forever. And then it'll be an alright taxi in. And then we'll do a turnaround. I think for part 2, we're going to do a dedicated takeoff from Ireland. And then we'll do a part 3, which will be landing in JFK and taxiing in, I think is what we'll do. So that will be a very busy 2 videos for us. I know this one is pretty busy video as well, because we took off and we're also landing as well in the same video. I don't usually do that, but since this is such a short flight, I feel like we could add more to kind of spice this up a little bit. So now we're kind of getting onto a base leg. I'd call this an extended base leg, because I think we'll just take a nice left-hand turn here in a couple minutes. So we're coming down through 10,000 feet right now, which is pretty good. That means that we're on our way. Let's see, I need to probably see, where is this easy dock? Don't like random. All right. Boop. Boop. That looks very nice. I like the scenery. Looks very nice. Very real. Head back inside here as we continue our way down. I love the controls for the Airbus in a way, just because it seems very simple, kind of straightforward. You only have the joysticks on the side and the screens. Everything is kind of more computer managed. That's why some people like the Airbus more than Boeing, is that it's more computer controlled, whereas Boeing aircraft are more pilot controlled and pilot inputs. But I don't know. I like both. I don't have a favorite, I don't think, over either one, just because I like both in their different ways. I like the Airbus because I like some of its different plane types.
Checklist.
Like, I like the A318 just because it's so small. I like the A380 just because it's so big. But then again, I also like the 74 because it's a classic, and I like the 787 because I like the engine noise. But I also like the 777 because I like the engine noise. So it's just a whole jumble of different planes that I like. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cross over this river here, and then once we cross over the river, it's a left-hand turn. So we're already preparing for landing. I don't have sight of... I think that's the airport right there. I think that's the airport. That looks like the airport right there. So I think that's where we're landing. We'll be there soon enough. Getting a little bumpy. Gotta manually activate the approach phase. But I don't even think we're ready for the approach phase yet. But I'm going to get it ready. So activate approach phase. I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to wait until we're just about to turn. We're still descending very nicely. Do I still need to be at 3,000 at this next point? Let me see. Flight plan. 6,000. All right. 3,000. We can do 3,000. So here's the river that we're going over right now. We got some low-level clouds. Looks very nice. How good is that view right there? Cool. Getting close here. Looks like we're about 5 miles away, and then I'll do my activate approach phase. And then beyond the activating approach phase, we will land. And I'll take over a manual landing approach.
Cross-checked. 1024.
1024.
All right, QNH is set. Now, this airport that we're landing at does a couple things for British Airways. One, it's a refuel point, because if we were to take off from London City with full fuel, you would need a lot more runway than what London City has to offer. So they take off light so that they can actually get the plane out of there, and then they use Shannon as a point to fuel up to 100%, take on some more passengers, and then head over to JFK. And like I said, there's only about 35 people max that I think that can fit on this plane at one time, because it's all business class seats. I mean, go look at their little A318s, like Google them, and you'll see how they're set up in such a way that it's business class only. So looks like approach phase has been activated. And once we come on the left-hand turn here, we'll probably line up with the ILS, and I'll activate it. We'll see it coming in now. Oh, down and forward. That's what I need. So we'll see it. Let's see if our little diamond here starts to move. It does. So we're going to activate the localizer.
Glide slope alive.
Glide slope is alive, so we'll activate approach. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Localizer is captured. And we're below the glide slope, so we'll catch up to it here in a second. And just through here will be our airport.
Localizer captured.
Localizer's captured, right. Yeah, so just through, looks like we got some cloud coverage right now that's kind of obscuring our vision. So that's why I'm keeping the ILS going right now, is just for that obscuring of the clouds. Once we get visual of the runway, I'll probably take over manually for us. It's always nice. Engines are at idle. We're kind of gliding right now with no engine power. Still waiting. Gonna reduce our vertical speed just to let the glide slope catch up. Oop. There we go. Glide slope is catching up now. Here's our runway coming into view. Kind of just letting the plane do its own thing as we get closer here. We're about 8 miles out, 9 miles out right now. And we're gonna get the glide slope right about now. You can kind of see it coming down. There's the glide slope. We're almost at that line, which means that we're on the glide slope. We're still under it, which is nice. It's better than being over it, of course. Right, we should capture.
Glide slope captured.
There we go.
2,500.
Speed check. Flaps 2.
Put down flaps 2 now to give us a little bit more lift at slower speeds and to help slow us down. Got the runway in sight now.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Flaps 3.
Speed check. Flaps 3.
Very nice
full.
outside. You can see the farmland. Looks very nice. I love this scenery. It looks so realistic. Looks very nice. As we're on our way down.
Landing gear.
Down and locked. 3 greens.
Ground spoilers.
Checked and armed.
Motor brakes.
Medium.
Exterior lights.
On.
Go around altitude.
Checked.
Landing memo.
Checked. No blue.
Checklist complete.
All right, ready to land. We're about within 5 miles now. We're at the outer marker. I'm gonna wait till we're at the middle marker to take over. A lot of pilots love using the ILS just because it's steady. It keeps their planes more steady. They don't have to keep making micro adjustments, and it keeps them kind of in line with nothing going wrong.
1,000.
Sort of 1,000 above. So I'm going to go ahead and take over.
Autopilot off.
All right, autopilot's mine. I'm still going to let our speed be controlled by the aircraft. But I am controlling our descent now. Aircraft's all trimmed out for us, just little adjustments here and there as I see fit as the captain. That's kind of your hearsay, is to be able to make those little adjustments where you see fit. If you feel like a little bit of a crosswind going on, you can make some adjustments that maybe the autopilot maybe didn't want to make. But right now we're on the glide
500.
slope, 500 above. We are stable on our approach.
400.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
300. 100 above.
And I took off auto throttle,
200
so
minimum.
I am controlling the speed now as well.
Continue.
100. 70. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 5.
And floating it.
Ground spoilers. Reverse green.
Little bit off the center line.
70 knots.
Manual brakes.
Auto brakes off.
All right, nice landing. There's the terminal right there. So we need to continue down here. I think our exit was this Echo, I think. And we'll take this into the gate. Nice rollout, keeping our speed up for the next aircraft behind us, if there was one. And here we are, turning off.
APU on.
After landing checklist.
Exterior
Awesome.
lights.
Checked.
Ground spoilers.
Set off.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
Flaps.
Checked retracted.
TCAS.
Checked standby.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
APU.
On.
Checklist complete.
Awesome. So we're just gonna roll our way in here. I need to select a gate, but I don't know what gate to select. So hopefully we will figure it out here in just a second. Let's try gate 32. Let's see if that does anything. Gate 32. All right, it works. Welcome to Shannon. $34. And here is 32, our gate today. So this is just a quick stop. I think like an hour layover, less than an hour layover. Basically, we're just going to refuel here, pick up a couple more passengers, and then we'll be off across the Atlantic, which will be fun. I might do a video for the Atlantic crossing procedures too, because that's always fun. So let's get ourselves nice and lined up here. Bring it back. Are slowing ourselves down. And watch our marshaller here. 3, 2, 1, stop. Awesome. We will cut our engines. Let's see what he says. Did I do a good job?
Checklist.
No, not gonna say.
Parking brake and
Very
jumps.
good parking. Ha ha ha. All
Shocks are
right.
set.
So we're
Parking
going
brakes
to
released.
initiate
Engine master.
deboarding for those passengers who wish to get off of the plane while we do this short layover here in Shannon. But thank you guys so much for joining us here. I will have our next video out hopefully within a week, not like 2 months like our last video was. But thank you guys so much for joining us here. And thank you so much for staying subscribed to the channel, for leaving us a like, a share, a comment, all of that fun stuff. So without further ado, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys in our next video.